You came in at a good time because I was just about to ask Chell, and we're just about to talk about Crystal and Fire Girls. So I met Chell on a short film that I was cast in called Crystal, where I was playing, I guess, the male lead, or opposite the female lead, Crystal. And interestingly enough, that was, at the time, that was the first dramatic thing I'd ever done. Up until that point, I'd only done stand-up and crazy, wild sketch comedy. So I felt really insecure about having to just be a normal person on camera during that. We can talk, we save that for my therapist or another interview.
I want to be your therapist.
But,
Let's do it.
but Crystal, and then later Fire Girls, who Reese Presley, you came in at the perfect time because you and I played, I don't even know, Barry and Gary. I guess we were the bad guys. Is that what you would call us in that film?
I don't know, man. I guess that would be the straight answer, but to me, like, what it's sort of about is that, like, I don't know, like, good and bad is all mixed up. Like, there's sort of, this is getting too deep, but there's some commonalities between, like, Reese's character and the Queen, played by Kamara, and that, like, but like in this kind of world we live in where everybody feels like they're correct, and often you actually do have a lot more in common with your, like, perceived enemies than you would think. So I guess, like, to me, the lead, to Baby Girl, played by Gabby, who is amazing, they are bad guys. They're scary, but, like, they're also just, like, guys, and, like, I don't know, is it society's fault? Oh, maybe. Like, I don't know. You know?
Right.
I do know because I'm the one who knows, but also,
right.
No.
So those, you're an award-winning writer and director. I think known for a lot of awards. You have laurels. They're around.
Okay.
And but both Crystal had a scene where you lit up an entire hill full of fire. Fire Girls, in the name, is fire, and you had an amazing scene in that was fire. What's your deal with fire, Chell? Are you a little pyro?
I did not, almost nobody knows this, but when I was in kindergarten, or maybe even Montessori, I did get extremely busted for bringing matches to school. So apparently, yes, but, like, I truly hate getting in trouble and, like, need the attention and validation of authority figures. So as soon as I got in trouble, I was like, shut that down. But point is, yes, I guess I have been into fire. No, but realistically, the connection there is that, like, with indie filmmaking, the vibe is obviously use what you have, right? Like, there's a way to try to get what you need or make something special by thinking about what you have and how you can, leverage that. So we have some good buddies from Griffin, where we shot both those films, who work in special effects in Toronto. So when we were up there in pre-pro for Crystal, that there was always going to be that fantasy scene in the quarry, but it wasn't always going to have fire. But at the time, my buddy Jan up there was telling us about this flame paste he had developed, and he was
Flame
like,
paste.
yeah. So he was like,
that.
they used to always use this, like, super toxic stuff. It hadn't been changed since, like, the 60s. Every time they do it, they'd have to, like, clear out the whole studio where they were shooting because it was, like, really toxic to burn it, blah, blah, blah. So he had come up with this non-toxic version of that, and he was like, we can light anything on fire. We were sitting around a campfire one night in, like, the weeks leading up to Crystal, and he was like, we were just talking about anything you could light on fire, this, that, blah, blah, blah. A great conversation. But the next day I was like, oh, cool, it would be dope if we, like, what if we wrote Crystal in fire? And that was, like, became part of the thing. Like, literally that idea came from that conversation. And then from there, I was kind of like literally Fire Girls came from that as well, because we were just like, well, that's sort of the point of it. I was just like, I just want to light a bunch of stuff on fire and, like, think of anything. And that's how I was trying to pitch it to them too. I'm like, what's something you've always wanted to light on fire? Like, should we do this?
Yeah, in Fire Girls, wasn't there instruments on fires? And you have a trumpet or a sax and the drums, and you lit them all on fire while they were playing.
Yeah, thank God no one was hurt. Thank God.
Right.
It was pretty scary, to be honest, but we had very brave participants, and Ben and Jordan doing some excellent, safe fire wrangling that, luckily the stuff does only have, like, a 15-second burn, I think. So it's like, that's still long enough to do some danger, but kind of keeps things maybe a little more reasonable than if we're just, like, willy-nilly. For the kids at home, don't just go lighting shit on fire.
They're professionals. These are professional pyromaniacs here.
Dream high. You can be anything you want to be.
How great is it to have friends that are professional Fire guys. That's amazing.
No, it's dope. It's so good. I'm so proud of them. They do amazing work, and I don't know. I'm honored. I feel like I know a lot of really great people. That's like one of my favorite parts about life. Like people are doing awesome stuff all the time. I get to be really excited and proud of my friends all the time, and lucky me.
Speaking of some of those awesome friends and creative people doing amazing things, you're part of a collective Think Feel TV. Tell us about when that started. How did that originally come about with Brian and Greg? Yeah.
Yeah. So Think Feel is, yeah, we're like a flexible thing. But that was a great start. Anyway, let me take it from the top. Okay. So this is like 2008. We did our first project together. Fall of 2008, we did a music video for a band called the Gay Blades. So Sam Winter, who you also know, he and I went to grad school together at Syracuse. So we moved to New York after that. And at the same time, his buddy from undergrad, Brian, had just returned from Burma, where he was making documentaries, and he was about to start at Columbia Film School. So like right away, I met Brian. I didn't even have any furniture in my apartment. And him and his sister had these backpacks on. They had literally just come from Burma. And it was like, well, we're all sleeping on the floor at my house. You might as well sleep on the floor at our house too. There's nothing but floor space. So met Brian right away. We had dinner. He stayed at my place. A little bit later, he started at Columbia. Sam and I have been good buds for some time. We started working on this music video for some friends of ours, the Gay Blades. And Sam hit up Brian and was like, hey, who's the best DP you know up at Columbia? Brian had become, at that time, really good friends with Greg. So he was like, you got to meet Greg. So we get Greg together, and that was the first project we did as a unit. And then I just kept kind of like, there's a bunch of other bands that we knew that needed music videos, and we just kind of kept working together for a few years. Everybody's like independent too, so everybody's doing other shit. It's not that we're always together. That would be my strong preference, but it does keep us strong. Everybody's like flex and whatever. And then it was like a few years later that we decided like, oh, okay, we're actually way stronger as a unit. Like all of our individual work like sort of looks like a bigger body of work when we put it all together. And we call it Voltron. It's like we're stronger together. Our parts are.
Yeah, I like that. Voltron.
We had like an office space in Dumbo and stuff like that it's like as an individual, as like an soul fucking fighter out here, maybe you can't have all those things. There's pieces of gear that we like shared, so it just like really being stronger together is sort of the main thing. And then again, at the core of that is also like we have similar values when it comes to production and just like treating people cool and always like being respectful and trying and being like team like being down. Like that's, I can't say enough about those guys. They're so like, they're my best friends, but they're also just like such incredible artists, and feeling their support over the years has been amazing. Like I don't even know, I'll be working with them and I'm like, these guys are so good, like why do they fucking work with me? I can't believe it. And and it
Classic
pushes me.
imposter syndrome. Yeah.
For sure, but it's like I'd rather that than the opposite. It's like I have them to push me. It's like once I'm working with them and I'm like, okay, I can't let my team down. Like I can't let these guys down. I admire them so much. I think they're fucking incredible. It's just like keeps me getting better. So it's, and well, then they'll tell me that they do feel the same. Like, so it's good. We have like a really cohesive unit. And like, as you know, Greg is just like insane with it. He's like three people in one. He shot the films that we all worked on together. And like, I really wouldn't have any of the opportunities I'm having now had he not taken the chances that he has to just like have fun and make those things with me. So